Life.
It's very nice to talk to other Black women that aren't hyenas. It's a very lovely experience being able to talk to other ladies that have a good head on their shoulders, and we're all working hard to basically correct. And this is going to be the overall topic of today's stream: correct the image of the Black woman. Okay, because I don't know if y'all have noticed. I mean, our channels show that we have noticed, but the image of the Black woman is it's disappointing, to say the least. It is very disappointing. It went from propaganda about the Black woman to Black women actually living and providing evidence that the stereotype is real and that it's true. And I find myself very disheartened every single time I click on either it's TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and I just see living minstrel shows. And the moment any of us call it out, the moment any of us call out the minstrel show, call out the behavior, then here comes the insults. I'm sure y'all have heard heard some of the insults. What are some of your favorite insults that the Bonnet Crew Society, the hyenas, that they've given to any of y'all for calling out the bad behavior that you see?
Of course, pick me's. They've mammies. They've called me a mammy. I didn't even know what a mammy was. A mammy, pick me. Those are the main ones. Because we speak. What else they say? Male centered or something like that. I don't know. It's just anytime you have an opinion, and at the end of the day, it's just our opinion of what we think, but they take it so seriously to heart because it somehow triggers them. It's something that is not going right in their lives, I think, to the point to where you have an opinion that doesn't match as theirs is a problem, and I wish we could get to a place where we can have an opinion that differs, but still respect each other's opinions. We don't all have to agree all the time, but you can definitely respect what somebody is saying and move accordingly. But if your life is not a representation of something I'm saying is a problem or something I'm pointing out, then that's when they get mad, and that's when we're pick-me's. As opposed to doing something that would change your circumstances or your outcome. If you don't like where you are, do something to change it. And I think a lot of times what I say, I give examples or ways, maybe you could do something or just the idea of doing something differently that might could give you the outcome you want. But no, a lot of times they don't want to hear that. They want to keep doing what they're doing. And even though it hasn't been working, you get mad when somebody say, hey, maybe try something else. You just keep wanting to keep doing that. And you want a different outcome. It's ridiculous. That's what they call, that's insanity. You keep doing the same thing, looking for a different result. That's crazy to me. And it's funny because the ones who they call pick-me's and all either be married or have a man. Like, I'm just don't understand that everybody that they call pick-me's have a man for the most part.
So I did want us to just start by describing, what do you think the Black woman's image looks like as of right now for today? What is the Black woman's image currently?
Ghetto.
She took the words out of my mouth.
Ratchet. What did I keep hearing?
Aggressive, like always combative, disagreeable.
But you know what too, though? That comes from home training. Like, if you don't have any home training, and then if the behavior is what I would call coddled, if it's not checked, then they think it's so. That's why they don't see a problem with it. This is why you could see it in somebody. It's like, you see it in somebody else, but you don't see it in yourself because you've never been checked about it. It was okay. It's okay. And the example that comes to my mind is when I saw this video of this guy talking about the teacher. He was talking about call the parent about the child acting up. She was on her phone and she took the phone. And she called the parent to let her know, hey, your daughter, your child was acting up in school. I had to take her phone. And the mother was on the phone like, why did you take her phone? She did not do what she should have done. She basically condoned that behavior by saying, why would you take her phone? Why would you do this? Instead of saying, oh, she was acting up, just disregarded the fact that she was acting up and just defended that behavior. So if you keep defending it, they're going to keep doing it. They're not going to see anything wrong with it. But the hypocrisy in all of it is, if you, like you said, Smell the Roses, if you see somebody else doing it, it's a problem. But then when you're doing it, you can't see yourself. And then when you're apprehended, it's like, oh, and now you're the victim. So like you said, now you're the victim, but your behavior is just dismissed. It's like, oh, that didn't happen. Oh, they just targeted you because, oh, you're black. Now the racist card. It's a cycle, and we see it happening every single day, and it's just great. It's crazy.
It's not even just online. Like, go out into the wild. go out into the wild and just be observant. Okay, I'm not saying you're always gonna see it, but to pretend like you haven't seen it, or to pretend like this is just coming out of nowhere, that it's all AI. These videos have been going around since before AI was popularized, okay? I can clearly remember seeing it on Flavor of Love, okay? We saw that on Flavor of Love back in the day.
And we saw them cutting up. And wasn't it easy? Like, didn't New York used to be like, oh, she YT trash, or we used to call it out, but they were all a funky bunch, so like, for people that would watch something like this and think that we're just harking on Black women, no, we're not. But there is a group of us that are cutting up, and we should acknowledge it. Not to say that there's not a group in every category of demographic of woman, and we could be speaking to Becky Bonquishas, Mylene Bonquishas. If you're a Bonquisha, you're a Bonquisha.
Exactly. There's no winning with a lot of these folks. It's like, you say, well, what about these people? What about those people? Okay, you want me to go help them win? Because this is the whole point. You can't guarantee anything in life. And see, this is part of it. They want to guarantee, oh, well, if I do this, then I should get this, this, and this. You hear this with the conversation around getting a man and keeping a man. Well, if I lose weight, if I do this, will I keep a man? Does that mean he'll never cheat on me? I'm like, there's no guarantee, literally, with anything. So even with, presenting ourselves in a classy manner, presenting ourselves with some dignity and respect, that doesn't guarantee an outcome, but it betters your odds. Like, that's the whole point. You want to better your odds, but whenever we get into these conversations, it's just like, oh, well, you just want to play respectability politics, and why don't you talk about this woman and that woman? I'm like, I'm trying to help you better your odds.
But wouldn't it make sense to set a standard for what it is that you want in life? Like, you set the standards. We talk about image, your image, how you present yourself. It's not a guarantee you're going to get everything that you want, but it gives you a higher probability of possibly getting what it is that you want if you present yourself in a manner of what it is you're looking for. If you're going out here dressing like what we call 304s, a slit here, a slit there, what I'm saying? Like, booty cheek out over here, everything hanging out. And then say you want a good man, like, what are we doing? Like, you think that's going to give you a better chance of getting a guy who's going to take you seriously, or you going to get somebody who just want to play with that booty cheek? I'm just saying, being ratchet and of the hood and just being degenerate should not be associated with being Black. Just because we're Black, we're supposed to be. That's what our culture. There's so much culture we do have, but why is it that the hood ratchet part is the basis for what we're supposed to be? That's crazy. We shouldn't be labeled as, as a whole, as the thing that makes us cultured and Black is the ghetto part, the hood part. That's the problem. That's the problem. And then it's like they don't understand it. That means you, as a Black person, you have to be hood, you have to be ghetto. I come from the ghetto. I come from the hood, the projects. But that means I'm supposed to walk around and jump around and act like monkeys and do all kind of stupid stuff just everywhere I go and act like, what I'm saying? Just act crazy. I just don't get that. I don't, and then wonder why there's a problem. But I see why they would have an issue with what we're saying is because we're not promoting that foolery. It's foolishness. Like, so we supposed to, we don't act hood, act like where we come from. We're changing. We're trying to be white. People used to say that, oh, you're trying to be white if you talk a certain way. If you say your words correctly, if you, act with some decency and order, oh, you're trying to be white. That's crazy too. Like, there aren't white. I mean, look, there are a lot of white people. I know a lot of white people who are crazy as hell and act real bad and got all kind of issues. So it's really not that, but that's what they usually say. Or, when you're growing up in school, if you knew how to read, I'm not trying to laugh, you made me laugh a little bit. If you knew how to read, if you knew how to, you got good grades, oh, you trying to be white. Like that is, that child is a mess.
That's why we can never get any of these problems solved, because it's always somebody else. And see, that's the part that really gets on my nerves, is that we'll get on here, well, not us, but we'll get on here and say, it's because of the white man that I can't do this, or it's because of the white man that I can't do that. And I'm like, why are you giving all of your sense of control, all of your, sense of achievement, or what you can and cannot do? Why are you submitting all that to the white man? Why are you doing that? Why aren't you reclaiming what is yours and taking control of what you can take control of? But no, it's the white man this, specifically with the hair. Oh my God, I can't wear my black hair because of the white man. And I'm just like, is there a white man in your house right now telling you that you can't do this? Is there a white man in your life that is telling you, black woman, you better not? How dare you? Don't even think about. I've never in my life had a white man in my life, in my house, telling me what I can and cannot do with my hair. So it's always going to be somebody else, because the moment you establish your locus of control within you, then heavy lies the crown. When things go left, it's on you. But if you can, delude yourself into thinking that everything else is everybody else's control, not yours, then it doesn't matter how willy-nilly you move throughout life, because it's always going to be somebody else's bag to hold, not yours. You're always going to be the victim in the situation. Even if you pulled out the gun, even if you loaded the gun, even if you aimed it, and then even if you pulled the trigger, it's always going to be somebody else.
That's why they lack accountability, because if you do that, that means you have to do something. Usually people who say it's the white man holding me back, they're not really doing much. You don't really want to do anything, and you're using it as an excuse. But yeah, the few times I've heard people say, oh, the white man do this, they don't really be doing much. You haven't even tried anything. That's just a way to take accountability off of yourself, an excuse to use somebody else for what you don't want to do. That's all that is. DeeDeesReactions.